Good morning. It's 49 degrees. We are out. Lake Mead is over there. We're on North Shore Drive. We are doing a bunch of off-trail peaks here. Shout out to Stav. It's gonna be a long day. We're doing Sentinel, Boost Pinnacle, Pyramid Peak, Saddle Mountain, and Land's End Peak, and then some other little unnamed peak that's right on the ridge. All right, so we had to come through a drainage, but we located this old road. And I think I stand corrected yet again. Now I'm thinking that's the Sentinel. Not, at first I said this, then I said that, and I actually think it's that. So our last peak's way, way, way out of sight. All right, well, we've traversed. This is quite the lumpy, you'd think it's flat on a map, but it's not. You're just constantly going little ups and downs, crossing these washes transversely. But we're starting to get closer to rock. So it looks like I'm on my line, at least the one I drew in, which should closely match Stav. Looks like we're just gonna bend up right in here behind this one and somehow get up to the ridge. All right, so we've crested this hill. We need to be down in that wash. So we'll find out, but I think we got to be down in there now to follow this up. All right, and 1 minute later, cat's claw, we are down. Well, not quite, but we just came down right there. Not too bad. I mean, steep and loose, but not treacherous. So we're gonna follow this now as it winds up and maybe encounter some class 3 obstacles. So yeah, following this now. Who knows where it bends left, I think. So here's a little class 3 obstacle. So I think it's inevitable that we're gonna encounter some stuff like this. Hopefully this doesn't move. This is super slick, this rock, the sandstone at least. So this actually isn't completely trivial. All right, Stav said there was at least one class 3 move, so it looks like it's open enough for now. So it's gonna bend left up to that ridge somewhere. Yeah, so we're literally just gonna follow this drainage up. It's turned sort of rocky, stop being sandy there, but it's obvious, and then it's gonna bend right up. So steep now, but it was fairly easy down there. So I just headed up, and at some point popping up to the ridge, and we still got a while. Okay, so note to whoever does this, it looks like I'm too high. So the drainage kind of splits. Well, I don't even know, maybe I left it. I think I wanted to go right. Okay, so yeah, I was going up there, which I didn't want to. The drainage does, you can't tell because it hits like a cliff. So it seemed obvious to just continue up that. You can see here's the main drainage. So I'm gonna get down this loose little chute. All right, so back down, there are several little class 3 obstacles. And I think that's your summit. We're just nowhere near it yet, but now it's like a highway wash. So let's hope this continues up easily for a while. Okay, this is not easy if you don't have a map. So you emerge up here into this big drain, just continues that way. I think you want to do a hairpin right. And I'm not sure if we're aiming for that saddle or up over that point. Sentinel's way beyond. All right, so we've come up this. I think we're about to get some views up on a saddle. Yeah. Whew. All right, I think that's the Sentinel. I think. Oh, and just a correction, I do not want to drop off here afterwards. I'm staying on this ridge to go hit that point, I think, and then continuing that way, and then eventually we'll drop down some drainage like this. But for now, we're gonna head this way and hopefully go back to Sentinel. So you have to go, I tried to skirt around it and failed. You got to go up and over this little false bump. Yeah, and then down on your way up. So this is pretty sharp. I just cut myself on it. This rock is super sharp and hard. So if you bang your whatever elbow on it like I did, it's gonna mess you up. This is somewhat of an exposed, and the fact that the terrain's like really loose makes it feel a lot worse. All right, so I'm not sure if your summit's in the white or the red, to be honest. It might be the red, but I think this is the point where if you wanted to, you could climb up this and get up on the ridge. Yeah, I don't know which one is the summit. So I just don't like how crumbly this rock is. Like obviously here, but like I feel like if you held onto it, it would break off. So that makes me a little hesitant to climb what, I mean, it might be just like class 3. Not really clear to me where to go, but I think I want to go right up this kind of ramp. It's pretty messy, loose terrain. So like I said, not obvious, but just trying to find like a way to walk up, but it might be easier to just go right up on the rock right off the bat and do the class 3. So anyway, I'm heading up. This looks like a nice ramp to me right here. So I think this is the route I'm gonna take. All right, we've come up kind of what I'm calling the red ramp. And there, that little flat shoulder and that flat shoulder where we need to go back over. This isn't gonna be that easy, getting down and navigating. So we're just heading straight up here now, which I think is correct, but I don't know. Don't know at all. Oh, we found a real steep class 2 gully. Take us to the summit ridge. It's so loose. I think your summit's right here. Hopefully. Yeah, it's gonna be messy getting back, I think. Sentinel Peak. I think this is it. This is the high point of the ridge. So we've done it. Yeah. So you could have got up on the ridge where you see this cactus, and then it would have been easy ridge walking. So I'm curious if I should just do that on the way back. I might actually do that on the way back. So anyway, yeah, pretty awesome. Look at that valley. There's the valley we crossed. The road's way out there, so we're gonna have to come. So what peaks are, I don't know what peaks what, if that's Land's End Peak. So that's, I think those are Boost Pyramid and Sentinel potentially, I think. Yeah, so we're gonna come down one of those drainages to get way down in that low drainage and then climb right up that one and then go over to that one and then hit, I don't know where Saddle is then. So yeah, I'm actually not sure which one's which. Those are two of them that you're seeing right there. And then where the last one is, maybe that one, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's that one, Land's End, but I'm missing one. So now I'm gonna take some pictures. Let's get our first snack. We got some trolley sour gummy worms. I'll show you if I go off that ridge. So this is super cool. I've just been on the ridge and you can poke your head over here at any time and be like, wow, that's kind of scary, which it is. So hopefully we're gonna find a way down that isn't as bad, but we're just gonna go. If it looks too bad, we can always come back. But this walking right below the ridge crest here is better than that loose side hilling and small up and downs we were doing. But the trade-off is now we're gonna have a sketchy, steep, like class 3 or 4 descent on rock. All right, so that white point I pointed out in the last video, it still goes, and that might be the white point, but there's some potential escape routes if I don't like what it looks like over the edge at the end. The other option is maybe just going straight off the ridge. So again, you got to feel this out for yourself. No amount of beta or anything was going to tell me if I was going to feel comfortable on it. So you just got to be able to judge for yourself the risk and if you're comfortable. But here's a potential exit gully, escape gully, I'm calling it. Again, if I don't like what I see off the end, I could potentially just get down this steep gully, I think. All right, so another potential route down. This joins up with that other gully, but we might be at a critical point here where we're done. Oh wow. Wow. Well, looks like you can keep going down this for a while. I don't know, it might get too cliffy. This is definitely pretty intense. Exposed ridge line. So the rock is very sticky. It's very loose and it's very sharp. Let's just do it. Like I said, if we need to come back up, we can, but I think we're gonna be okay. I think we can kind of zigzag our way down. I'm just worried about some of the stuff breaking. That's all. That would be my main. And then these cactus might be in my way too. So try to deftly step around them, like to this notch. Okay, so this is fun stuff. This will probably be the most fun of the day, I'm guessing, but I don't know. Who knows? So what I saw from above is to get down to this next cactus, and then maybe we cut here. Maybe we just drop down here. I'm just in an awkward spot. Okay. I think I'm safe here. So these are the trials and tribulations of ridge traversing on somewhat exposed rock, but pretty grippy rock, as Avery says. I believe it's limestone. So yeah, we're just gonna zigzag. We're gonna get down to that ledge and then maybe cut over. I think we were gonna hit kind of a cliff here. All right, well, I guess we could. I think you can stay on the ridge the whole way. You just hit these sections that are like kind of steep and exposed, but they're steppy enough. If you find the right placements, I don't want any of the rock to break. So anyway, loose rock. I'm almost down. I'll be happy, then it'll be easier going, presumably. So any of this rock feels like it could just break on me. And it's so sharp, you can't easily put pressure on it with my hands. Maybe my hands, I just need to toughen myself up, So anyway, we're looks like about down here, but never out of the woods. So yeah, so when you get to this point after you climb off that white thing, right when you hit this little rock nose, you can, in theory, just go all the way up the ridge. And honestly, I think I'd recommend it going up, because once you're up there, it's easy to just walk across. and you avoid like all this loose mess. It's a mess kind of walking around here. So yeah, right when you see this, if you want to get adventurous, just go straight up somehow. You don't have to stay ridge proper. You can sort of bend, but it's not too bad. And going up, it would be easier. Anyway, we got to climb over this white thing, and then I'll be happy when we get back to get to the other point. All right, we've made it back to the drainage. We came up there, we made that hairpin turn through these cliffs, came up this. So I think that's our next point, our next peak. It's labeled with the elevation, I forget what it is, 33,000 something. Bonus little high point, just 10 feet above the trail here. So that's our next summit, and then I think we'll drop down there. All right, nice little 3-minute climb. We're on top of this point. I don't want to misname it, so I'll put it on the screen now. 30 something, 30, 36 maybe, 30, 65. All right, so we're gonna drop down into that sandy drainage and see it's gonna take us right over to what I believe is Boost Pinnacle. All right, so we've come down from a saddle up there in this side wash. We're gonna then hit the main wash somewhere down here, you know, a couple 100 feet below us, I think, which will then take us to Boost Pinnacle. There's all sorts of animal tracks, and look, footprint. So I think this is gonna be easy, just following this down, hopefully, out to the main wash that you see appearing. And just like that, we are down to the main wash here. So we've come down from, that might have been the summit we were just on. I could be wrong, could be left, but we just came down pretty smoothly. And now look at this big highway. Okay, so I just checked the map. There's Boost Pinnacle ahead. This is a false summit before we get to, I think, Saddle's the next one, probably coming into view right now. So we're gonna keep going and then cut up some drainage or rib up to that Saddle, I think. All right, so we gotta aim for, it actually looks like it's hard to get to that Saddle. That's why I'm a little confused. By the topo, it doesn't look hard, but by my visual, it looks challenging, like you're gonna hit cliffs. So, all right, somewhat confusing. I went up probably too soon. I was probably in that first drainage, and I think you want to head up. I just don't know if I should be heading up that or this drainage or that rib or this rib. So I think if need be, I can correct and drop into the drainage, but I prefer to walk on ribs typically. It's just much easier walking. So I'm gonna take this up to this pinnacle, and I might have to drop. I might get cliffed out, but for now, this is what I'm doing to gain vert. All right, so we're up by those rocky formations on the rib. It actually didn't take that long to get up here. And now the question is, looks like we got above these cliffs, but now it looks like we hit an obstacle. So the question is, do we drop right or left, or just climb over top of it? I think we can just climb over top of it, but we might be forced to go down to keep going up at some point. I don't know. It's pretty basic class 3 there. So is this gonna go? So say we could follow that drainage, or we could just go straight up. I think it's gonna be easier to follow the drainage, as much as I don't want to cop out. I think this is gonna be messy, so I might just follow the drainage up, because it's gonna be very easy. I just don't want to, I don't know, should we go straight up? Let's go straight up, screw it. Shortcut. All right, our steep slog up is working. I'm staying to this rib, but now the question is gonna be, do I bend around right or left, or just go up and over this? And I have no idea. I guess when in doubt, go up and over, but I might get stuck. It looks pretty vertical, but yeah, we're gaining very quickly, and then when we come back down, we're just gonna take that ridge to the saddle, get over to that saddle, and then go up that big boy. Yeah, let's go. All right, moment of truth here. We just climbed up that kind of steep class 3 or 4 face. It's pretty easy. Now we're looking right into the sun, so I can't even tell if we're in the right place, but I think this is gonna go. All right, we've made it to the ridge, and I think, like Stav commented, where the topo shows the high point is clearly not the high point, which is complete BS. So I think we gotta stay on the ridge rather than this loose crap. I think there's a couple class 3 moves according to Stav, so we don't have much more to go. But then we came kind of right up this rib. We're gonna go off that way, and there's our next objective. And I think that's Land's End Peak way out there, and that's, I think, the peak we were on top of before. And I don't even think you can see Sentinel, but I could be wrong. So all right, time to attack this, and this should be fun, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna stay ridge proper because it's more rocky and more stable, but shouldn't be too bad. All right, I wouldn't call that class 3 at all. I'd call it just class 2, but easy enough. 3 or 4 minutes later, I think somewhere up here is the summit. Yes, maybe. Burning. All right, Boost Pinnacle summit. He said there's a baby rattlesnake up here. There's our next one. Look at this view of Lake Mead. Oh baby, pretty epic. By the way, I misspoke the whole time. That's Pyramid, and then Saddle's next, I think, out of sight. So Pyramid, I knew there was another peak. Pyramid, then Saddle, then Land's End Peak, wherever the hell that is, farther away. That's the main, I think that's Boulder Wash that you're seeing right there. This is awesome up here. So I think that was class 2. I think it's because I came up the other way. I missed the class 3 part. So I think coming down this ridge might be class 3. So again, I'm gonna try to stay on rock. Yeah, because this loose stuff sucks coming down, well, up or down, but just in general sucks. So I'm going to just go down this way. Yeah. Okay, so the rib splits. There's a couple ribs down, and was I in the right place? I don't know. Maybe I should have been over there. I ended up wrapping around. Looked like I was starting to get off course, but now this steep little loose BS slope to get down, 200 feet, 300 feet, but then we're going to start going and aiming for that higher saddle. So all right, so we've come down, might have been on the wrong rib, but just traversed over. So now, see, this is where it gets messy. I got to get to that saddle, which is about the elevation I'm at, but if I go straight, it's a big drop and regain. So it's either drop, regain, or side hill, or try to follow the ridge, which could be rocky and cliffy. So I think I'm gonna follow the ridge, but I don't know if this is the right decision. So could be costing myself a lot of time here. I guess we'll find out. So verdict, I would definitely try to stay high. I've stayed right. I mean, it's early on. And now the question is, do I side hill or stay high again? I'm probably just gonna stay low now. All right, update. I ended up getting forced high anyway. So I'm high, dropping down. Go to the right of those cliffs, I believe, and then walk up that slope. around that false summit, and there's your summit of Pyramid. Better pyramids out there, by the way. The one in Colorado, the 14er, and the one in the Desolation Wilderness. But this is gonna have to do for now. I'm gonna have to cut down. All right, so we came up around that cliff band to the right, by the way, and then they're just walking up this rib. The beta I have says you kind of want to hug this false summit, so you could, in theory, be over there, I think, and then just kind of follow the ridge up. That might be easier, but of course I'm not. I'm just plowing kind of straight up here. All right, so I'm by the false summit here. And it looks like you do want to try to hug it and just go straight over, and then we might have to drop, but there's your big summit. So hopefully this isn't too hard to work. And maybe I should be slightly lower, but probably not too much lower. You know what? I'll just tug it as much as I can and hope that the ground's fairly. It just sucks walking on slopes like this, side hilling. So the further down we are, the worse it would be. So yeah, head over. All right, so you want to stay high there, or else it's like major steep hillside. But now I don't even know how to get up this, but it should be easy enough, I think, just looking at the terrain. But then the goal is to go down there, and how easy is that going to be? I don't know. So yeah, that's going to be maybe the toughest part of the day. But for now, let's go back this and then come back down to here. Great view of Lake Mead. Yeah. And the view where we came from over there. I think that's gonna be Sentinel right there with the colors. Pretty cool. All right, this has been very easy to get up. I did get off the ridge. You want to follow the ridge. Is the easiest way to get up, because you end up getting kind of cliffed out. But this is going to be your summit of Pyramid Peak when I get there. This appears to be it. Pyramid Peak for the win. Summit 4 of the day. So our next one, I think it's just that lumpy mess, and then that's Land's End Peak, I think. But could be wrong. Actually, maybe that's Land's End Peak. That looks, yeah. It's got to be that big boy. So I don't even know what the saddle one is. It's some little teeny one. Looking back to Boost, where we just were less than an hour ago, I would say. So, great views. Pyramid Peak. Okay, got back to the notch on the ridge between the real summit and the false summit. And now, I think the goal is not to go down this gully, and we want to stay on the right side of this rib that you see. Okay, so far this descent has been fine. We just need to get down. Once that's the saddle, that's what we're going up next. So once we get past these cliffs, we're home free. There looks to be a cairn right there, but my mind deceived me before. I thought I saw a cairn. You know, like you want a confirmation bias, you want to see a cairn, so you're kind of whatever looks like one. So I'm just gonna keep following my gut, and then if not, that cairn might be directing me to go down another way. So let's just my gut says right down here, and it looks like it goes from here. I'm kind of just following this nose, but staying on the right, skier's right of it. All right, honestly, that was much ado about nothing. The way that felt the right way ended up being the way. I didn't even really have to backtrack or poke around at all. But now it's just this loose, whether you're in a gully or the dirt or this rock rib, it's kind of annoying. So I'm gonna get up on the rock rib and just walk down these boulders all the way. We're getting down to that saddle and then going up, I don't know which one it is. All right, so we're just about down to the saddle here. So this is confusing. That peak is definitely higher than this one. So this might be like the topo's off, and Stav mentioned it for a couple of these peaks. So I think we got to get over to that peak and then come all the way back down here and then follow this drainage down. And that, or maybe something further left, is our next big peak. So this one probably won't be too bad, but it's gonna take a while to get to the next one and get back down this. So we're headed straight up. I'm gonna figure this out. That's where we were. We came down that big rock flow. It was easy though. All right, it turns out the summit is beyond what you can see from down below, so it is higher than that other peak. But this was an easy class 2 walk up. Saddle Peak or Saddle Mountain, unsure. Yeah, but we've done it. We're gonna take that drainage down, then bang right. So I think that's not bad. That'd be too. So I think that's Land's End Peak, one of these ones you're seeing there. Lower than Pyramid, but yeah, so you just zigzag down, avoid that cliff band, and then just come right down those flowing rocks. Pretty easy. Pretty easy. Pyramid on top of Saddle, going to whichever one Land's End is. All right, so we're descending the wash now off of the Saddle, between Saddle and Pyramid. I'm pretty sure that's Land's End that you see. We're gonna go down this wash, and then where you see that next major wash between cliffs, we're gonna bang a right, wrap around the whatever side that is of Land's End, and then have a pretty, you know, long, steep ascent, I think, up Land's End. It's much higher. That Saddle was a baby one. All right, so there's our wash down below, where we're gonna make a right turn and go up it. And that peak is way, way, way above us. But here is the dry fall that we hit, I believe, and apparently it's passable on the right. Let's give you a view of the dry fall at least. Oh wow, it's pretty big. So yeah, I think we got to stay on this cliff, on this plateau. I don't think we're getting down right here. All right, so you just follow the plateau and then you come down this super steep loose slope, which is annoying. I slipped, but it's fine. Now we're gonna go to this wash, bang a right, and there's our last peak, very, very, very high above us. All right, so we're following this wash up, and kind of chokes up here. So we got some obstacles, maybe class 3. I don't know, it's a pretty big step up. Yeah, pretty easy. All right, flat again. So pretty soon, we're gonna cut left and head up. Apparently it's a real complicated system of drainages, so this might be a hard ascent. All right, so based on the topo after that little climbing section, you're gonna hit this main sign drainage, and this looks like side drainage. And this, to me, based on the topo, looks like the way I wanna go up. So I'm gonna start this way, and then it might be right up there. Somehow it doesn't look as high anymore. We haven't gone up that much. So yeah, we're gonna follow this up and then probably eventually get up on a rib. All right, I've made several turns in side drainages, just following my hunch and intuition. I think we want to head up this rib now and get out of this drainage. I mean, this is kind of side drainage. I think I want to go straight up, and that's not the summit up there, that's a false pinnacle, but I think that's our ticket. So I'm going to start heading up. I don't know if I'm going to get on the rib or follow kind of the side drainage, but it shouldn't be too bad. I could, in theory, keep following this up potentially. I'm just not sure at this point. So let's follow this. And basically headed slogging straight up to the summit, maybe 500 feet or something, but maybe only 200 to this false pinnacle. So there are some class 3 little sections in some of those side washes, but nothing too challenging by any means. All right, so we came up that rib, didn't actually summit the false summit pinnacle. We easily could, but I think your summit's right up there. Not too much more to go. That was a slog, but honestly, not too bad. Should be on top in 6 to 7 minutes. You gotta gain the ridge anyway, so we might as well summit this false pinnacle. Unnamed Yeah, so I came up to this face, just wrapped around the right side. And now it looks like we're just ridge life up to the top. Yeah, look at Lake Mead. Saddle. Yeah, Saddle. And look at how much bigger Pinnacle is. I don't know why I'm confusing the names. Oh no, not quite yet. We've gained the ridge, the shoulder, and now we're just walking over to the summit. Land's End Peak. Got him. Yeah, last peak of the day. Great view of Sentinel. So we're gonna drop off this ridge back to this big wash and follow it all the way out. Like 6 miles, like 1 mile to get down, then 5 miles back, give or take. Great view of Boulder Canyon here. Nice, I sort of want to go swim. It just adds several miles. Pyramid's looking nice and high. Saddle's looking nice and low. Nice wind. I need to drink some electrolyte. I took a bunch of salt caps because I got a cramp, but should be okay. I just got to figure out what rib to go off this. I'll look at the topo and figure it out off this edge. It's awesome up here. So it looks like you just follow this right rib down, but I'm going to keep checking the map. This is an impressive wash. All right, so we've effectively summited all 7 bumps on the Land's End ridgeline, Land's End ridgeline, and I think we're going to attempt to walk right off this rib that away. Got to get down and then follow that out. Yeah. Okay, so we popped over that point and it looks like it goes at least to this next one, so looking good for a little bit. This is so steep and loose. It's Alright, so the descent's about as expected so far. The rib kind of splits in a couple places, so you want to make sure you have the line you want. I don't want to go to that flatter summit. I want to go off this. Alright, so we're not out of the woods yet, but we're almost down. The rib splits again. I think I'm going to follow it off this way because it just seems pretty gradual. Stubbed a couple toes. Hopefully they're not black and blue. I just got to get down and then head across the desert, cross this big wash, get to that other one. It's going to be a long exposed return to the car. Once I get down to this flat part, I have like 5 miles back to the car. All right, right at the very end of the rib, you hit that vertical like 50-foot cliff, so you have to go one way or the other. I went right and dropped in the drainage. But now, bounce back up on a rib. Well, not really. I got out of the drainage though, but I'm basically down. All right, so we're more or less down at the low point. We have to cross this big drainage, and I saw it looked less cliffy right here. I'm gonna try to cut between these hills. But look at Sentinel. Sentinel looks awesome with its colors, for sure. And there, I don't know if that was the summit or it's maybe probably beyond where you can't see for Land's End. But yeah, we're just chilling across the desert, and look at this massive dry wash. Look at this wash. Boulder wash. Pretty epic. And I don't think we were ever in this because we peeled off to go to Sentinel before we ever got in this big boy. But we're just gonna follow this all the way back and might have to branch out of it, but I think we got like 4.5 miles back to the car. There's all these helicopters. Hopefully they're not looking for me. So we actually bend out. I think this wash bends left and we have to bend right. But there's Land's End Peak. It's crazy to think we just walked like straight down that rib. There's a coyote running in the wash up there. He's running. Damn. I don't know if he heard me and started running. Hopefully he's not waiting to get his boys and ambush me. Or maybe it's a wolf. It's like in that movie Collateral, where Jamie Foxx or Tom Cruise sees the wolf on the street and it's like symbolic. That's what I just felt like. Got about 4 miles left. So I'm still following this wash. It's split a couple times, but this is pretty cool. I got these little, like, it's like someone made a channel for the water. This is so cool. But anyway, according to the map, I'm not swinging to meet where I was earlier this morning. This will swing around and apparently meet up with where the road ended. When I left the road, like a mile in. All right, so this wash is really narrowed and gotten a lot rockier as expected. As you go higher, it's not this wide sandy thing. But don't look now. We're starting to get closer to where this meets the road. So don't look now, but we just left the wash and we're on the road. So if you're coming back, literally just stay in the wash all the way until it hits this road. Well, don't look now, but I think I spotted the road. The paved road, that is. I think we got like a quarter mile or maybe a little more left. And we did it. Car's still here. Time check, over 7 hours. 7 hours, 16 minutes. So call it 17 by the time I get to the car. 7:17. Great loop. That is definitely not for everyone. That is an advanced level hike, I would say. So do with that with you will. But between my video and Stav's beta and other beta I'm sure that's online, I'm sure you can piece it together.